other thing that happened on breakfast this morning, just to play a little bit, and shh, Mr Luxon's sleeping. Don't wake him up. He's asleep. If we
little wee fella's all tuckered out.
He's all tuckered out. If we stay quiet, maybe he won't wake up at all. As they talked a bit about Pharmac as well and what's going on there. And again, Lloyd had a good crack at him about, why did you go to 54? Was it because one of your cancer drugs was at number 54? And Luxon went, yeah, basically. So just said, yeah, basically. But then the question we all wanted him to confirm, of course, was how are you paying for it? Ready for this? All together, kids. 3, 2, 1. Wakey, wakey, Mr Luxon.
Yeah, look, I mean, we've got provisions against budget 2025. We've got contingencies to manage through the course of this year. And obviously, we've got an ongoing program of savings.
Provisions against budget 2025, Chewy, means money out of next year's budget.
We're pre-smashing the piggy bank.
As we talked about at the budget, that program doesn't stop. In fact, it just carries on because every day we want to make sure that we're doing more and more effective things with the taxpayers' money.
And so we want to do more and more effective things with the taxpayers' money, even the taxpayers' money we don't have yet. In business, there's this philosophy of spending yesterday's money, yeah? It says you don't want to spend tomorrow's money, which is what you've invoiced your customers to pay. You don't want to spend today's money, which has just come in from those customers on a check or whatever. You want to spend yesterday's money, which is the money in the bank. This is supposed to be the party of business using terrible business models, not only spending tomorrow's money, but spending tomorrow's money they haven't invoiced anyone for yet. So they don't actually know how much tomorrow's money is going to be, and they're already spending it. And yes, I know some people are going to go, debt and the future and our children. If they had have borrowed for this, we would know. They're not borrowing for this. They're saying we're going to see how much comes in next year, and we're just going to take a chunk, 600 million, a chunk out of that budget. So therefore, some things next year are either going to be missed out on, or Chewy, they'll borrow again next year. No, it'll all be costed. Hang on, if you didn't give that $600 million to last year's funding, would you be borrowing? Oh, it's all costed. We're not borrowing for tax cuts. We're not borrowing for this. We're not borrowing. No, that's what's going to happen. They're spending tomorrow's unknown money. It's even worse than spending tomorrow's money. It's tomorrow's unknown money. Party of business, my ass.
These guys have never returned us to surplus, have they? National.
I don't know if I'd say never, but certainly Labor has a much better track record of it over the past 30 years.
Yeah. Just putting it out there. They're like National's reputation on business and money is unearned.
Yeah.
We talked. I saw him mentioned in the chat, so he's been summoned again. New Zealand's last socialist prime minister, Rob Muldoon. That was the last time New Zealand thought big, or maybe it wasn't. No,
think big.
But for infrastructure, it certainly was. I mean, it almost bankrupted the country, but we were still using. Well, we're still using a lot of that infrastructure that was built during Think Big. So, I mean, this is the thing. Why can't we do that? Why can't we do that? Something I stumbled on while I was looking at the IREX sort of stuff is because the government is really trying to position this as a project that was poorly managed, that people couldn't stay on top of the costs and all of this sort of stuff. And I mentioned there's screeds and screeds of reports that had been generated at what was examined. I found a bit, and I think it just speaks to it. The ships have performed, they're talking about our current ferries. The ships we have now performed well, but they're getting towards the end of their life in New Zealand. So Kiwi Rail started looking at a 5-year design and replacement plan. We need to introduce the latest technologies, infrastructure, and all of the smarts that we can see in the European ferry industry today. The procurement to replace the existing 3-ship fleet is well underway, and the new vessels will enter service in 2024. Now, this statement was made in the before times in 2019, so you can see here why it's taken a little bit longer. Kiwi Rail is getting great emphasis on the design of the ships to ensure high levels of reliability and allow for a 1-hour turnaround time during peak periods. With passenger levels expected to reach 1.7 million movements per year by 2025, it is clear that Kiwi Rail's new ships will need to be bigger. The 2 new train ferries will be able to transport 1,100 more passengers per day than the 3 currently crossing Cook Strait.
Wow.
They will need to accommodate 40 rail wagons, about 3,000 lane meters for vehicles, and room for about 1,800 passengers each. The new build project, known as the Inter-Islander Resilient Connection Project, IREX, will also see port services upgraded to align with the design of the new ferries. We are working with the port companies in Wellington and Pixton on designs and delivery pathways. That was 2019.
Yeah.
So when these guys say we're making it a brave, just so brave, tough decision to cancel it, they are flushing almost a decade of work down the toilet and saying, look at us being good, brave financial managers, sunk cost fallacy, bullshit. They're saying there's nothing of value in that report. The thing that they're saying about the smaller ferries is listed pages and pages and pages deep of alternative options ranked by how good a decision that is. I think that page is in the 30s before they get to the smaller ships, smaller secondhand ships part of it.
Yeah.
This is going to be a clusterfuck that we will look back and point at Nicola Willis and Christopher Luxon for decades.
Yep. It's like,
and realize that they're economic vandals.
it's like when you, it's not the same thing, but it's like when you are, let's say, renovating a house. If it's a house you're living in for the next 10 years, you can't really overcapitalize because you earn the investment back over years. If it's a house you want to flip, then yeah, you got to be careful with what you're going to spend. You can't really overcapitalize on your own house if you're not planning on going anywhere. What they've done is they've basically taken the flip model. They want to get as cheap and as easy as possible, so it's the fewest amount out of, and look, I guess the bad parallel, maybe they will flip it. In other words, make it privatized, but they're making, as you've been saying, the short-term plan, the flip plan, the idea of as quick and as easy as possible, as opposed to thinking about getting that investment back over a longer period of time, serving everyone better over the longer period. And it's just frustrating, man.
Couple of things I want to mention because I see a few comments in the chat about it and that sort of thing. John Oliver has recently done a show about austerity, and that is well worth a look. Because essentially this is what we're talking about. They want austerity for us and the fucking money tap on for everybody else.
Well, that's the same. It's the same ideology as you privatize profits and socialize losses. It's that kind of world.
And it's exactly what the Conservatives over in the UK have been, fuck, people have got rich out of their austerity.